It was a nice walk and I'm glad Mother persuaded me. It was also the first time we'd gone out as a family without Gregory. Normally Gregory and I would distance ourselves from Mother and Vincent, but today felt like the first time Vincent and I had spent some proper time together. Mother lit the fire and made us a nice hot mug of coupe soup. An hour or so after our return, Mother and Vincent began preparing supper and left me alone in the front room. A while later Mother returned and after a little small talk, suggested that Sonia might want her tights back. I was all cozy in front of the fire and didn't really want to move, plus, they are nice and warm. I've got an idea, Mother said before leaving. A few minutes later she returned with something slung over her arm. Why don't you try this? Seeing as you want to keep those tights on. Oh I don't want to wear a dress. I moaned as she held open the blue sailor dress that was too big for Vincent, but supposedly about my size. I know you don't, but Vincent's been very brave over the last few months, she replied. It was odd hearing her use his real name. Don't you think it would be nice if you showed him a little solidarity, she suggested. I didn't really know what solidarity meant, but I knew what she was getting at. I looked at the dress and exhaled slowly through my nostrils. Do I have to? I moaned. You don't have to, Mother assured. I just think it would be nice for Vincent. Not being the only one for once, she added. I recalled when Vincent told me that he preferred being at school to being at home because at home it's just him who dresses like a girl, and reluctantly I agreed. I took the dress from her and made for my room, but Mother suggested I change in here instead. It'll be a nice surprise for her, Mother said as she drew the curtains and tucked them behind the radiator whilst I removed my top. As well as the dress, she'd also brought me a vest to wear under it, which had a vague floral pattern in the knit, and stretchy lace trim around the neck and armholes. Mother raised the navy blue sailor dress over my head and told me to put my arms up. Within seconds it surrounded me and Mother fastened the zip, which strangely ran up one side from waist to armpit. Once the dress was on, I unbuttoned my pants and pulled them off. Very nice. Mother grinned as she stood back and looked me up and down. It didn't feel as horrible as I'd expected, but it didn't exactly feel nice either. I wondered what Gregory would say if he could see me now and guessed that he'd be less than gracious. I sat myself down and, having witnessed my mother constantly remind Vincent to smooth his skirt as he sat, I smoothed my skirt as I sat today. Stay in here. Mother grinned. This is going to be such a lovely surprise for Sonia. I sat waiting for 5 or 10 minutes before Mother returned. Reluctantly I went to the kitchen expecting Vincent to laugh at me, but her wasn't even there. Mother pulled out a chair and beckoned me to sit. I sent her to put a nice dress on too, but she's no idea why. Mother told me as I sat today. A few minutes later, Vincent descended the stairs wearing one of his prissy party dresses and glanced at me. I don't see why I have to wear this just for supper, he said. It'll be bath time soon, he added. Any second now he'll see me and react, but instead he barely looked at me. He grabbed his prissy white pinafore apron and asked Mother, or Mummy, as she insisted he call her, to fasten the buttons. Mother cast me a knowing smile as she buttoned Vincent into his pinafore apron. I just sat there petrified. The tension increased by the second. You sit down, Sonia, Mummy will serve, Mother said. Vincent sat down opposite me and moved his plate and cutlery so it was perfectly aligned. He watched our mother for a few seconds, then looked at me. I felt myself going beyond red as I anticipated his reaction. Then, just as I thought he simply hadn't noticed, he said, Andrew, are you wearing a dress? His expression was one of shock and disbelief rather than a big grin or worse. Bellowing laughter. He is. Mother chirped. Stand up, Andrew, and show Sonia your dress, Mother said. Oh, do I have to? I moaned. I felt much safer hiding most of me beneath the dining table. Well, she can't see through the table, can she? Mother said. I gulped and reluctantly stood up before stepping to one side. I looked at Vincent, then down at myself, nervously grabbing my skirt as I did so. "That looks okay on you," Vincent said. "I'd rather wear dresses like that than dresses like this," he added, sneering at his own party dress. "I thought you liked that dress, Sonia," Mother said defensively. Vincent backtracked a little and said he thought it was very pretty, but it's too pretty, he added. "I prefer it with my piney than without it." "I think it looks lovely with or without your piney," Mother said. "You both look lovely," she added in my direction, before putting a pork chop on each plate. I sat myself down and tried my best to pretend that this is normal. If I was Vincent, it'd probably feel normal. I thought as Mother poured my gravy for me. "Now be careful not to get any gravy on your dress, Andrew," Mother said as we ate. "Really, you should be wearing an apron like Sonia," she added.